Our movie starts at the same time as World War II. The second with a child named Angus, a child who loves the sea but he is afraid to get close to it and always imagines that he fears that if he goes into the water, he will drown and no one will be able to save him, and he collects seashells like he used to do in the past with his father, and he found a rock. It's big but light, so he decided to keep it. And his mother, whose name is Anna, comes to him so that they go back home together and head to the house's storage to put the shells and the big rock, and he sees the rock and notices that it's peeling. And its color is strange, with a sticky substance oozing out. It has a whitish appearance until his mother calls him. And he leaves, and the rock moves slightly afterward. And night comes, and the wind becomes so strong that he opens the storehouse door and descends into the storehouse, but he finds that the egg has fallen on the ground and is broken. And he starts to feel movement around him and things. Things are falling, and he keeps walking behind the sound and the things. That breaks until he finds a small strange creature hiding from him and trying to get closer with his hand. But the creature, out of fear, tries to bite him. And he runs to the kitchen and brings a knife and potatoes so he can give them to the creature, maybe it will eat them. And he starts eating it and allows him to touch it without biting him, but the ugliest one notices that the creature is wounded on its back and runs to get a first aid kit. First aid to treat this creature and leaves it in the storage room and goes back to his room so his mom doesn't notice that she is late in the warehouse and comes the next day. And he wakes up to the sound of an army battalion present at the entrance of their house. Captain Thomas knocks on them. And he tells them that the writer will remain in their garden according to the orders of the command center for a specific time specified, and only the officers will stay inside the house, and he goes to his father's library. And he takes a dictionary from her and goes to the warehouse he checks on the creature and sees that it is eating his father's shoe. His father's shoes, and he knows he's hungry. And he goes to the kitchen and takes the basket that contains leftover food and gives it to the creature to eat. And they read the book, Crusoe, named after the author. His father's favorite book, and he opens the English dictionary to know what type of cruise it is, but he doesn't reach any specific type. To any specific type, and after Cruise finishes eating, Angus tries to touch his skin, but he finds it very dry. Very dry and needs water, and he puts water in the basket. Crusoe finds that he has become happy and enjoying. With help in the water, he starts to care. He plays with Cruise, and one day his mom looks for him because she wants to tell him something. His mom because she wants to tell him something about his father, and she meets Lewis, the one who is working on the new house. And she asks him to start cleaning the storage room, because she suspected that her son was raising an animal in it. And it's supposed to be forbidden to raise animals in the house, and Lewis starts cleaning the storage room. And they see Angus throwing the water he was in. It had a bottle, but it wasn't in the water. And they ask Angus about what he does in the warehouse. His father tells Lewis that he is cleaning it based on his mother's orders. On his mother's orders, he goes out to look for Crusoe is every place until nightfall, and Crusoe is its size has grown, and it's inside the house of Angus, running after him. The dog belonging to the battalion cook named Strunk, but the dog is tied to the stove. And he messes up the kitchen because he pulls the rope hard from the neighbor behind. Cruise is messing up the kitchen and harming Rank. He locks the dog inside the storage room so it doesn't. He doesn't mess up anything else until I finish. He hears his sister. She is shouting and running out of the bathroom, and he understands that Crusoe is upstairs and licking before you tell anyone, and he explains. He explains everything to her and shows that the cruise is not harmful, but he wonders how he grew up so quickly. And the people Christy told her brother that she wouldn't tell anyone, and she went the next day to give Lewis her husband's old clothes. And he thanks Lewis and tells her that he will thank her when he returns, but she says her husband won't return because he drowned with his ship a year ago, and her son doesn't know about his father's death until now. And she says that the bathroom needs fixing, and he goes up to fix it. He fixes it, and it's filthy, and Christy is inside the bathroom. And they try to stop Luis from entering. And they can't stop him, and he sees Cruz, and after that he calms them down and tells them that it resembles a seahorse and that a rare mythical creature that no one has seen, and the truth is that very few have seen it, and legends say. They say it's both male and female at the same time, and when it grows up, it dies all at once. It grows and sheds only once, and then it dies. And they all get taken to the bathroom until I start looking for them. Peter told Louis to hide it from their mom. Also, B agreed, and they told their mom that they help Louis fix the bathroom pipes. And they managed to hide his crush and not expose it. And while the army is having a feast and the house is being cleaned from the bathroom, and the door is forgotten. Open behind him, and Cruz comes out of the bathroom and barks. The dog, being loose in the house, he breaks everything around him to reach to the cross and goes down to the ground floor next to the room, the table where the battalion officers are gathered, and I am there. Until he enters and runs under the table. The table, and the dog runs over the table and messes it up. The feast, and Croso runs out of the house and escapes from the dog, and he jumps into the fountain full of fish. And he keeps eating them until the sun rises and he gets full. Louis noticed that his size had increased since the last time, and it was harmful. They put him in a car and take him to the nearest lake. They are moving because hiding at home has become impossible, and after he returns, he finds the house filthy. His mother asked Captain Thomas to train him with the army and the battalion so he can get busy with anything. Something, and he remains busy with training and he can't go see his cousin who keeps waiting. Waiting until Angus can escape from Thomas goes to the lake where Crusoe is. And he sits waiting for him, and he doesn't show up until he gets on the boat and goes to the middle of the lake and in Crusoe, behind it, and it is very large and massive. Because of how much he ate while in the lake, he becomes. Crusoe wants to play with him like before and rides on his back. He rides on his back and walks with him in the water, and Angus is terrified because he is afraid of the water, but he gets used to it and continues while sitting on the back of Cruz. Until he finds out that the lake is closed with a large net from the army, and after they finish playing they take Cruz back to the shore, and before he goes down, Croza is under the water, taking a rank, keeping an eye on him while he is in the water. In the water, he finishes his house and tells Luis and Christy what happened, and he was extremely happy. And the next day, Captain Thomas takes him. All of them to show them the army's work on the hill. And the battalions plan to strike the Germans if they approach the area in the sea, and showing its strength the cannons are conducting a live fire test. The missiles on the lake where the cruise ship is. And he renews in the lake and tries to stop them. But he fails, and the missiles are fired, and because of that, the angels. He got close to the missiles, and she was punishing him. And she loves him at home, and there is one of the residents the city is confident that he saw her once, and continued he is watching the lake with the photographer to take a picture of it. As soon as it appears, but he fails to capture it and runs away. He fakes the image because he is chasing after fame. Fame and the photo end up in the newspapers, and he sees Rank confirms to Zami Walker that he saw him for real. In front of him, they read Walker and suggested that he should hunt him to become famous and be known as the monster killer, and at the same time he sneaks out of the house to go. He reassures Cruz after the beating he received. And Louis goes with him, and they reach the lake shore. And the shadow of Angus keeps calling him until he comes out. Crusoe tries to attack them if it weren't for Luis. He saves him, and Louis understands that after what happened, Crusoe he became a wild animal and attacked anyone because he thinks we are his prey, and remains angry, upset that he lost his friend, and goes back home, but he hears the sound. Rank's dog, and he knows that someone is looking for him. On Cruz to catch him, and indeed, Walker, Weston and Nick are looking for Cruz until they attack him, and the center is overwhelmed that they are being attacked. Under attack in the lake, and they want all the missiles. They strike it to save them, but the boat they are on it, and it capsizes near the shore. And Cruz will be eating Rank after the workers' den. The shore and ran away in fear, but Angus is trying to. He prevents him from killing him and stays in the water until he doesn't drown and throws Cruz's trunk away, then goes down. He saves Angus from drowning, and Lewis manages to revive him. And Thomas and Anna come and see the seahorse in front of them, and I take it that her son wasn't. He doesn't lie or imagine things, but suddenly missiles are being fired. The missiles on the lake based on a report the boat before it capsizes and trying to make it. He makes Cruz escape far from the missiles and rides on it to guide him to the path that will take him out the lake and stay away from the field of fire, and because the weather it is stormy and the rain is heavy, Thomas can't cancel the orders through the radio, and she swallows. The observation soldiers see something resembling a periscope. The submarine, and he thinks a German submarine is coming to attack on them, but in reality, it turns out to be the head of Croso. And the beating continues on Cruz and Angus, and the net is raised. The net is raised more to prevent the submarine, which is the Kruzov, from crossing the net, and Thomas and I will be riding a boat behind the angels to rescue him if he drowns, and they read. He leaves Cruz to hide under the water far away. To avoid the beating, he goes to his mother on the boat, but he dives under the water and manages to jump higher than the net and lands on it to the extent that it gets detached from the tower it's fixed in, and Cruz runs away to the sea, and he finally gets freed and sees the most beautiful sight for the last time. The last moment as he swims in the sea at sunrise. As if he is bidding farewell to his only friend.